Do you ever feel stuck, like you're living your life on autopilot? Are you ready to shift into high gear and reach the success you so richly deserve? Welcome to the Play Big Movement podcast. I am your host, Sharon Lechter, entrepreneur, business strategist, and best-selling author. Playing big is not about settling for good enough or being comfortable. It is about reaching your highest potential and achieving your greatest success. Join me in my Play Big movement as I interview top experts in business, money, and entrepreneurship, all ready to serve you and to help you play big, be number one in your field, live your legacy, and create maximum impact. Welcome to this segment of the Play Big Movement podcast with Sharon Lechter, and I am delighted to have a dear friend with me today. What a champion for women she is, an incredible story. And we're going to talk about her new book. But Donna Johnson, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm so happy to be here.
And just a little bit, Donna is like the leading lady of all direct sales and network marketing. She received a Lifetime Achievement Award, second only to Mary Kay Ash. My goodness, it's amazing. Amazing. And so she's impacted millions of women and a few men along the way in her organization and become not just a leader, but a mentor to many. But it didn't start that way. Donna, tell us a little bit about little Donna, where you're from and what your formative years were like.
Oh, wow. Little Donna. Little Donna didn't know that she didn't have a normal daddy growing up. I had parents and 4 brothers, and I found out later my father had some trauma when he was a child, and he actually was a misogynist, which is he hated women. And so I was a little girl, so I fell into that category. I remember at 5 years of age, so excited because my little neighbor friend's mom painted our fingernails pink. And I came home and my dad called me a whore. And I had to ask my mom what that was. And so I didn't have a really, I grew up proving him wrong and just excelled at everything I did. I really was a great competitive swimmer, swam nationally, didn't go to college, but just really kind of had that little chip on my shoulder growing up that really impacted so much of my life and my life story. So I think people that are listening, oftentimes, like our dear friend Rita Davenport says, you want to take your problem and write it down and put it in a box, but then you want to go back and get somebody else's problem. You would want yours back. And so I'm hoping that my story inspires others because you can overcome any obstacles.
Well, and you've certainly grown up in an industry that was very kind of, people looked at it through a second eye and weren't very confident in it, but you persevered and you built an incredible business with a company that is one of the top in the industry. And you continue to pour into people. You're constantly on the go, supporting people and pouring into them. How important it is for women to help mentor other women.
Well, it's so important. And also other men, oftentimes when I'm reading a book by a man, I don't say to myself, well, the guys in my organization will love this book. I learn a lot too. So I think we as women have opportunities to influence both men and women, but just lifting each other up, edifying, supporting each other. I think that's one of the things I love about what you do, Sharon. And I think we need more of it, locking arms and really discipling each other.
Yeah, it truly is. And Donna is in Think and Grow Rich for Women. So you will find her, I think it's chapter 1, and talking about vision and definiteness of purpose. But I think one of the reason I wrote that book was exactly that. I was tired of women complaining and criticizing about all the men in their way. And I said, what do you attract when you complain and criticize? You attract negativity. And so let's celebrate each other. Let's celebrate the progress women have made. There's certainly more progress to be made, but we've come a long way, baby. And let's celebrate the men that have supported us and helped us along the way. And I think when men and women come together to the table, you get the greatest results. So Definitely. I think we agree on that as well. And you have an incredible husband. We were at your wedding, and he's also high president of another company. You guys are very much pouring into the people that are within your organizations, and I just applaud you. You're all the on the go all the time, supporting other people. And it's you've got incredible children, and in doing this, you are filling a huge example for your kids. So
Yeah.
tell me some of the things that you had to battle within this industry. A lot of people out there
Yeah,
maybe
it's so
struggling.
true. My kids say I have to, where in the world is mom today, right? And honestly, I have to say that, I don't have a college degree. All my children are highly educated, and it was because I gave them the gift of paying for half of their college or earning it. And it just, really is inspiring to have not just entitlement, but to really appreciate your goals. So Thomas and I have 6 adult children, 8 grandchildren. And I think some of the best education they got was watching mom and build a business from home, all those life journeys. And same thing in our profession of direct sales network marketing. Most of us build a home-based business. And so many of those skills that we need to live a life, a marriage, a family, parenting, we can apply into our business as well. And just, not giving up. Like, when you're 8 months pregnant, you don't say, I'm giving up. And so often in our profession, people give up before payday because you're not trading hours for dollars. You're building something substantial, and it takes time. It takes patience. It's not get rich quick. And so all those disciplines to manage are so important.
It truly is. And I think, I know a lot of people in the industry, and I can say honestly, Donna, that you're one of the most successful that I know, and yet you also are very humble. And I think that's something to be said for this industry. I talk about loud money and quiet money. There's a lot of people that, take pictures in front of their jets and is crazy. And I say that's loud money, but quiet money is really giving back. And you and Thomas, tell us a little bit about your orphanages and the schools that you
Yeah.
support.
Well, I always say there's no U-Haul at the end of a hearse, right? And I just feel like to whom much is given, much is expected. And so we have Spirit Wings Kids Charity, which is orphanages in Uganda and India. But our orphanage in Uganda, we actually built out even a little bit more and have a permaculture farm. My son is a global leading permaculturist. If you don't know what that is, traditional agriculture grows in rows. Permaculture grows in systems. And so we were able to do this in Uganda right before the pandemic. And it really made such a difference, not only for the community of the orphanage, but also the surrounding community. And then because Thomas was a professional soccer player in Uganda, in Sweden, we were able to start a soccer academy for these kids. And watching the Swedish Soccer Federation send these kids like professional jerseys and shoes, balls, some of them never even had shoes, and just to watch them light up and also give them a sense of purpose, a mentor and a coach to work with, keep them off the streets, give them goals and opportunities. And so it's just so rewarding. It makes us want to keep being successful. So many people stop when they feel like all of their goals have been met, their bills are paid, whatever. And I just think there's so much more that God has for us if we only allow and are obedient to what his purpose and will for us is.
Well, and you created success early on in your life. And so you could have easily have written a book back then, but you chose now to take the time to pour your heart out and to write this book. So My Mentor Walks on Water. Tell me a little bit why you made the decision to write it now.
Yeah, people have asked me over the years to write a book about my business, and I just was never inspired. And this was absolutely just a moment of obedience for me. December of last year, I was going to Sweden with Thomas for celebrate Christmas with his family. It was all packed, ready to go. And the day before, I just felt this tug that I wasn't supposed to go. And I just prayed and I said, okay, God, give me 3 signs if I'm supposed to go or not go. And I clearly got a red light. And that's one of the things I talk about in the book is red light, yellow light, green light, especially us high achieving people. We don't like yellow lights. We don't like red lights. But Thomas gave me his blessings. And I got back to my home in Wisconsin on the lake. Now, this is in December when it's very quiet. There's no neighbors around. And when you're going to be in Europe for a week, you have a clear calendar. So I walk in the house and I said, okay, Heavenly Father, this is the law of the vacuum. I was supposed to be in Sweden, but now I'm all yours. So you've got my full attention. And that's when this book just dropped in my lap. And it was so beautiful, the timing. And because I think that success in business can be translated in every area. So for instance, you have mentors for finances or for parenting or marriage or business. And so this book, I really think encompasses everything, because My Mentor Walks on Water teaches us to have some defining principles of what's important to you, what really matters, what do you want for your future. One of the concepts I talk about in the book is this rubber ducky, and that's what I see in society. A lot of people just getting tossed around in the waves. They see something, a shiny penny, and they want to follow it. And so if you know who you are and why you're here and what your purpose is, it gives you just an anchor so that you're just not beat around in the waves like that rubber ducky. And it just gives you something, a really good track to run on. So I'm really excited about the book.
Well, I am too. And you do actually specify and you talk about having mentors in various aspects of your life. And I think that's really important because, I have a lot of clients and sometimes we're talking about their kids, other times talking about their business. I mean, it really is, you need to have that guidance in every aspect. Share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so whether it's a mentor or a coach that you hire or someone that's influencing you, I think it's really important to align yourself with someone that is what you want. I mean, there is no perfect person out there, so be careful how much you get your magnifying glass, right? But just really show people that show up in an authentic way, tells the truth, speaks truth with love, and just really will help hold you accountable for what your purpose is and where you're headed.
So what's your hope for the book? It's not specifically written for people only in network marketing or direct sales. It really is your heart about the level of faith that you have in your life and the confidence. Talk a little bit about what you hope the book to do.
Well, I think there's a lot of confusion out there. And my hope is that it really opens up conversation and discussion and thoughts about who you are, who God says that you are, who Jesus is. The interviewer on the street asking people, who do they think Jesus is? The answers are just really amazing. Somebody to strive, be more like. And so I'm really hoping that, I know a lot of people have been harmed by traditional organized religion. And there's a difference between that and just having a direct access to Holy Spirit and Heavenly Father and Jesus, who walks on water. And, it's funny, Thomas, my husband, has for years taught this in his training. And he actually talks about Peter walking on water and stepping out of the boat. All Jesus said to him was, come. And he didn't give him a speech or, all the reasons why he should step out of the boat. He just said, come. And Peter of the 12 was the only one that stepped out of the boat to walk on water, take that risk. And so in life, we will have action regrets and we will have inaction regrets. So ask yourself, do you want to be a boat sitter in your life? Or do you want to be a water walker? Do you want to be obedient? And because we're never guaranteed the next day. So oftentimes we're going to put things off. we're going to say all the reasons that we are not worthy, we are not qualified. That almost stopped me. Like, what? Me? I'm not an author, right? Like, we just do this to ourselves. And you know what? God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. He just asks for your obedience. And so I hope that the book really encourages people to that fear of boat sitting. I loved it, Sharon. We actually, when you read my book, the advanced reader copy, I know you loved the part where I talk about my mom, because she's a big worrier. And you know what's really interesting? Now that she has dementia, she doesn't worry anymore. Just think about that, right? But you shared with me one of your favorite quotes, and I actually called my publisher and said, can I add Sharon's quote in there? And it was, I think it was, worrying is praying for something that you don't want. So I think that's what we do. We just compare ourselves and say, not me, but we are called to do something. And so when you know that it's right, find the right mentor and get connected and just start. Don't be a boat sitter. I hope that it really calls people to step out of the boat and walk on water, be a water walker.
Well, I love that. And I think, True, you made a comment earlier on about, standing in your own values. I think one of the things that we see today is so many people are envious and they want to be Donna. They want to be Sharon. And my message to everybody is God made you perfect to be you. And there's only one of you. And so stand in your power and find that strength to contribute, because you're here for a reason. And there's something, you don't be envious. Don't be jealous. Look at and say, I've been given this gift of life. What am I going to do with it? And stand in your own power. What do you?
Yeah, actually, Sharon, they don't even want to be us. They want to catapult and go straight to the top. They want to bypass the journey and the hardships and the wilderness that comes. And, I heard recently that the most productive decades of our life, where we have so much wisdom and ability to pour out to others, is our 60s, 70s, and 80s. So I feel like I'm just getting started in a world that, I talk about this in chapter 11 of my book, Community Influencers. Everybody wants to be an influencer, Sharon. And I saw recently that TikTok, they give China teenagers the spinach version of TikTok, and they give the US sort of the crack version of TikTok. So when you interview 15-year-olds in China, the number one job they would like to be when they grow up is astronauts. And in America, the number one thing people want to be when they grow up is an influencer. So they want to be an influencer by a reel or a blue check, but not by the content of their character. So what I'm hoping is that there's a real transformation that starts to happen where people understand, sometimes the road less traveled is the road, we're supposed to be on. And there's a way and a reason for you to become an influencer.
Right. And you earn the right.
Yes.
true influencers as earn the right through finding their own power and making contributions and giving back. And you certainly give back a lot, Donna. And you support other people. And what I love so much is you have glee and joy when you see other people succeed within your organization. And I think we have to celebrate each other and support each other.
Well, and outside my organization and in other professions, oftentimes people celebrate selectively, and I think we're just called to edify people and encourage them.
I love that. So tell me a little bit more about the book. Where is it going to be available? How can people find you, Donna?
Yeah, it's launching Easter week, big week, and just the timing of that was not planned, but it really is just, the timing is perfect. You can learn more at mentordonnajohnson.com, and everywhere that books are sold. Barnes & Noble just picked it up in a big way. It's getting a lot of attention. It's making a splash, no pun intended.
I think it will definitely make a splash, and I think you're going to see the momentum is going to touch people's hearts and lives. So you said mentordonnajohnson.com, correct?
Yes.
Super.
And also that's my tag for Instagram, Facebook, and don't laugh because I just, I'm kind of shy and quiet on social media, and my publicist is like, okay, we got to bring your following up. So if everyone could follow me, I would love that.
All right, Mentor Donna Johnson. Definitely. We will make sure that that's in the show notes as well. And I just want to thank you. You're going to hang out for another recording with me for the private Facebook group. So those of you watching and listening, if you're not part of the private Facebook group, Play Big Movement with Sharon Lechter, please join, because all of my guests continue to give a little more in-depth story that we share inside. So please join the Play Big Movement. And if you've absolutely received value from Donna and me today, please share it with other people, and so we can make a greater impact. The Play Big Movement is about being number one in your field, living your legacy, and your legacy is every day created by every heart you touch and creating maximum impact. So that's our goal. And we want to thank you for being with us. Thank you, Donna, for being with me.
Thank you, Sharon. And you are actually one of my mentors, by the way.
Well,
always loved and followed you.
I love and cherish our friendship. So all of you, thank you for watching and listening, and go out and have an incredible day, because you are fabulous. Thank you for listening to this segment of the Play Big Movement podcast. Please subscribe to iTunes and leave us a review, as well as join us in other areas of social media: Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Sharon Lechter, and for Facebook, author Sharon Lechter. Thank you so much, and have a fabulous day.